Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. The Warriors need a big man to fill the starting center role. Big trade suggestion: Warriors sign Nick Claxton in exchange for Buddy Hield and Moses Moody. Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors have completely changed the way basketball is played over the past decade. Using lineups without elite centers as well as embracing small ball, they have succeeded more than anyone believed, but as Father Time catches up to Curry, they may need to change their approach to the game. Sports Illustrated's Derek Parker has the Dubs trading one of their elite three-pointers and a former lottery pick, in exchange for a 6 feet 11 inches center who has averaged over 7 rebounds in each of the past 3 seasons. In this theoretical deal, the Golden State Warriors land one of the top potentially available big men on the trade market in Nicholas Claxton, Parker said Sunday. The details of the trade would have the Warriors acquiring Nick Claxton, and the Brooklyn Nets receiving Buddy Hield and Moses Moody. Taken with the number 14 pick in the 2021 NBA draft, Moody's seen a decent early career stint, most recently averaging 9.8 points on 37% three-point shooting on the wing. Hield is added to make money work, though in a real deal, Golden State would likely have to find a way around offloading the sharpshooter to keep its three-point shooting edge. Claxton doesn't fit with Brooklyn's timeline and could be a valuable piece to a team like the Warriors, who are searching for a big man to pair with Curry. The Nets will continue to search for their main guy, and bringing in Moody to compete for that spot should be a no-brainer. This win-win trade has the Warriors finally getting someone worthy of the starting center spot, and it benefits Brooklyn by giving them one more young piece to experiment with. The only 3 Warriors Jonathan Kuminga paths, including Bulls, Kings sign-and trades. Will Jonathan Kuminga return to the Warriors in free agency, or will he end up on the Kings or Bulls via a sign-and trade? Another day, another opportunity to discuss Jonathan Kuminga and the Golden State Warriors, the biggest headline that has yet to draw a conclusion this NBA offseason. At some point, Kuminga's future will be clear. However, this holding pattern doesn't appear to have an end in sight, especially with Kuminga's sign-and-trade market stalling out. This offseason has not been kind to those who found themselves as restricted free agents entering the summer. None of the 4 RFAs, Kuminga, Josh Giddey, Quentin Grimes, and Cam Thomas, has yet to sign a new deal in what is a very dry market. With teams unwilling to commit to long-term money given the stipulations of the first and second tax aprons, these young talents coming off their rookie contracts remain as free agents entering August. In Kuminga's case, his situation is being held up by what was destined to be a split with Golden State this offseason. After failing to negotiate a long-term extension with Kuminga before the 2024-25 season, it was expected that the Warriors would explore the possibility of trading the young forward. The Dubs came close to doing so on multiple occasions, including a deal for Kevin Durant with the Phoenix Suns that fell through in the final stages of negotiation. It was then expected that Kuminga would be included in a sign-and-trade this offseason. Although it's still possible that the 22-year-old could be moved via a sign-and-trade before the start of the 2025-26 season, both his and the Warriors' options are limited. Few teams have expressed interest in Kuminga given his salary demands, and one of the organizations with interest doesn't have a clear path to acquiring him. That would be the Phoenix Suns, a franchise that worked endlessly this offseason to clear long-term money off their books and would need to move significant salary to bring in Kuminga. The Suns do hold a level of interest in Kuminga, something that has been known since the trade deadline, when negotiations surrounding Durant were taking place between the two teams. But to add Kuminga via a sign-and-trade this offseason, the Suns would need to remain under the first apron by trading Grayson Allen or a package involving veteran Royce O'Neal. While Phoenix did propose and discuss the framework of a deal involving Allen with the Warriors, this idea was quickly shot down by Golden State, given the veteran guard's contract. Allen still has 3 more years left on his current contract, as does O'Neal. Moving either player this late in the offseason, and many teams' reluctance to take on long-term deals, would make trading either player extremely difficult. As far as Kuminga's demands, his side has remained adamant on wanting to secure a long-term contract in the $30 million annual average value range. To this point, the Warriors have expressed interest in retaining Kuminga, but the team has not made an offer that exceeds $20 million to $23 million per year. Atlanta Hawks forward Jalen Johnson, who received a 5-year, $150 million contract extension last season, has been the main contract comparison for Kuminga. With the two sides remaining far apart in discussions and Kuminga truly wanting a fresh start on a team where he can continue to develop his unique skills in starter-like minutes, uncertainty continues to cloud this situation in the Bay Area. That is why three paths stand out as the only real solutions at hand, starting with a sign-and-trade scenario involving the Chicago Bulls. Steve Kerr is holding these guys back. Former NBA champ slams Warriors HC over Jonathan Kuminga situation. For the past 5 seasons, the Golden State Warriors have attempted to balance two separate timelines, maintaining a mini treasure trove of young talent while still focusing on competing for championships. Their plan failed miserably. The last big piece of the puzzle, Jonathan Kuminga, remains tethered to the Warriors by a string. Instead of claiming these players didn't live up to their potential, Kendrick Perkins asks for some accountability from the Warriors. Golden State's plan began after the 2019-20 season. Kevin Durant had signed with the Brooklyn Nets, and Klay Thompson missed the entire season recovering from an ACL injury. They went from competing in the NBA Finals to becoming the worst team in the Western Conference. The Warriors eventually earned the second overall pick of the 2020 NBA Draft, selecting James Wiseman. In less than 2 seasons, they parted ways with the 7-foot big man. The following year, they had 2 lottery picks. Instead of trading them for a proven star, they selected Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga. Despite Kuminga's tremendous upside, he has yet to find a consistent role on the roster. It didn't matter much in his rookie season, considering they went on to win the 2022 NBA championship. But the Warriors are now feeling the consequences of their actions. At what point are we going to hold the Golden State Warriors accountable? Perkins said on the Road Trippin' podcast. If you have a guy like Jonathan Kuminga, one of the most athletic guys in the NBA, I believe he's an elite talent that's going to continue to get better. It wasn't like Kuminga didn't show flashes of greatness while with the Warriors. Before Golden State acquired Jimmy Butler in December, Kuminga averaged 21.0 points and 6.3 rebounds on 46.4% shooting from the field. That is excellent production from the 4th-year forward. Unfortunately, once Butler arrived, Steve Kerr simply threw Kuminga to the wayside. Kerr gets plenty of credit for the Warriors' championships, and rightfully so, but Perkins believes he shouldn't be spared criticism. When it comes down to guys elevating, and you see a guy that has the potential to be a franchise guy, Steve Kerr is holding these guys back, Perkins proclaimed. Perkins' gripes with Kerr come specifically with how he handled Kuminga's minutes during the 2025 NBA playoffs. He's the one who decided to bench the man at the start of the postseason last year, Perkins said. At what point are we going to hold the Golden State Warriors accountable? Perkins said on the Road Trippin' podcast. If you have a guy like Jonathan Kuminga, one of the most athletic guys in the NBA, I believe he's an elite talent that's going to continue to get better. It wasn't like Kuminga didn't show flashes of greatness while with the Warriors. Before Golden State acquired Jimmy Butler in December, Kuminga averaged 21.0 points and 6.3 rebounds on 46.4% shooting from the field. That is excellent production from the 4th-year forward. Unfortunately, once Butler arrived, Steve Kerr simply threw Kuminga to the wayside. Kerr gets plenty of credit for the Warriors' championships, and rightfully so, but Perkins believes he shouldn't be spared criticism. When it comes down to guys elevating, and you see a guy that has the potential to be a franchise guy, Steve Kerr is holding these guys back, Perkins proclaimed. Perkins' gripes with Kerr come specifically with how he handled Kuminga's minutes during the 2025 NBA playoffs. He's the one who decided to bench the man at the start of the postseason last year, Perkins said. What Draymond Green said about DeAnthony Melton returning to the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors could bring back DeAnthony Melton for the 2025-26 season. Steve Kerr led the push to sign DeAnthony Melton in 2024-25, adding in the former Philadelphia 76ers guard. Melton signed a one-year deal with the Golden State Warriors, and began impressively before suffering a partially torn ACL. He elected to undergo surgery to prevent further long-term damage, and was traded away to the Brooklyn Nets as part of a deal to bring in Dennis Schroeder. DeAnthony Melton linked with Warriors' return. DeAnthony Melton is slated to make a full recovery after undergoing surgery last November, and is being tipped to re-sign with the Golden State Warriors. Brian Windhorst says the Warriors are near to confirming the signings of Melton and veteran center Al Horford. These deals will fall into place once the Warriors have come to some kind of agreement on Jonathan Kuminga's future, with discussions ongoing. Melton played only 6 regular season games for the Warriors before his injury, but made a strong impression, with the team winning 4 of them. At the time, Draymond Green expressed his clear belief that Melton should re-sign with the Warriors for the 2025-26 season. Green told ESPN, "What he was bringing to this team was great, so we'll miss that. But what we'll miss more is just his presence around, his attitude, his demeanor every single day. Always smiling, never upset about anything, just always bringing great vibes. You hate to see a young guy in a contract year go through this, but I know the imprint he's already left on this organization. He'll have an opportunity to come back, and hopefully he'll decide that's the right thing for him." Melton numbers in Warriors games. Melton is still only 27 and has an opportunity to fulfill his unfinished business with the Golden State Warriors. During his 6 games for the team, he averaged a creditable 10.3 points per game. He added 3.3 rebounds and 2.8 assists. Defensively, he was also averaging 1.2 steals per game during his 20.2 minutes per game. The Warriors began to drop off after Melton's injury early last season, and his return would clearly be a popular one among the players.